When did you start settling for less? Not in a dramatic way, not in some obvious, life-changing moment, but quietly, almost invisibly. One day you stopped pushing as hard. Another day you told yourself it wasn't worth the effort. Then slowly, you began choosing what was easy over what was right, and nothing felt wrong. It just felt comfortable. You still had your dreams back then. You still imagined a different life, a better version of yourself. Someone disciplined, someone respected, someone who actually followed through. But that version of you only showed up in your thoughts. In reality, you hesitated. You waited, you overthought, you delayed. And you told yourself you were preparing. But you weren't preparing, you were avoiding. Avoiding the discomfort of trying. Avoiding the risk of failing. Avoiding the possibility that maybe you're not as capable as you once believed. And that thought scared you. So you did what most people do. You protected your ego. You said, I could do it if I really tried. I just don't feel like it right now. This isn't the right time. And just like that, you gave yourself an excuse to stay exactly where you are. Safe, untested, unproven, because as long as you never fully try, you never fully fail. And as long as you never fail, you can keep believing in that imaginary version of yourself. The one who would have made it, the one who would have been great, the one who just never got the chance. But be honest, you had the chance. You just didn't take it. Someone else did. Someone else woke up early when you didn't. Someone else stayed consistent when you quit. Someone else pushed through the discomfort you avoided. And now they're living a life you once imagined for yourself. And it bothers you, not loudly, not in a way you talk about, but quietly. It shows up as frustration, as irritation, as that strange feeling you get when you see someone doing better than you. You tell yourself they got lucky. You tell yourself they had advantages. But deep down, you know the truth. They did what you didn't. They kept going when you stopped. And now you're stuck in this place, not completely lost, but nowhere near where you wanted to be. You wake up every day with just enough comfort to stay the same, but just enough dissatisfaction to feel it. It's a strange kind of pain, not sharp enough to force change, but not dull enough to ignore. So you distract yourself, you scroll, you watch, you consume, you fill your mind with other people's lives so you don't have to confront your own. And time keeps moving. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into years. And slowly, that version of you, the one you once believed in, starts to fade. Not because it wasn't real, but because you didn't become it. You chose comfort instead. You chose ease. You chose to stay where things felt familiar. And now familiarity has turned into a cage. A quiet one, a comfortable one, but a cage nonetheless. Because now, even if you wanted to change, it feels harder. Not because it actually is, but because you're not used to it anymore. Discipline feels foreign. Effort feels exhausting. Consistency feels impossible, and so you stay. You adjust again. You lower your expectations a little more. You convince yourself this is enough. This is fine, this is life, but it isn't. This is what happens when you stop demanding more from yourself. This is what happens when you trade growth for comfort. This is what happens when you keep choosing the easier path until it becomes the only path you know. And the worst part, you're aware of it, you feel it. That quiet voice inside you, the one that hasn't completely disappeared, it still speaks. It still reminds you. This isn't who you're supposed to be, but you ignore it. Because listening to it means facing everything you've avoided. It means accepting that you wasted time, that you made excuses, that you let yourself fall behind, and that's painful. So instead, you keep going like this, half aware, half asleep, living a life that feels almost right, but never fully satisfying. Until one day you look back, and you realize this wasn't a phase, this wasn't temporary. This became your life, not because you chose it, but because you never chose anything else. And by then there's no anger left, no frustration, just a quiet understanding that you had potential and you let it slip away. Not in one big moment, but in thousands of small ones where you chose not to act. So now the question is simple. How much longer are you going to keep doing this? How much longer are you going to stay in a life that you know isn't yours? Because nothing changes until you do. And if you don't, then this version of you, the one you secretly hate, is the one that stays forever.